Hello everyone, my name is Quad and welcome to a video all about status damage, status chance and status effects. This is a part 3 of a trilogy of videos on damage of Warframe, part of a series I have on this channel, the systems of Warframe, all about those complicated and hidden systems behind the game we love. In part 1 of this trilogy, I looked at the additive and multiplicative damage, which is very closely connected with everything status. In the second part, we look at the critical damage and critical chance, but in this one, we will look at status damage, status chance, and status effects. Let's start and look at how the system works. So, this is Lato, one of the first weapons you can get in Warframe. It does 7.5 impact damage, 7.5 puncture damage, and 15 slash damage. Altogether 30 total damage. These three status types are the most common on all weapons of Warframe. Lato has 6% base status chance, meaning 1 out of 3 status effects will be applied to the enemy you shoot if you are lucky enough. 6 out of 100 shots actually. Which one is applied depends on its share in the total damage. While impact and puncture both have 25% chance to be applied, slash damage has 50% chance, all inside those 6% though. So in reality, impact and puncture both have 1.5% and slash 3% chance to be applied. The other 94% chance is what I will call simple damage, with absolutely no effect, just damage. By adding on another mod, for example max convulsion, which gives us 90% electric damage, we will first raise the total damage of the weapon by 90% from 30 to 57. 27 of that total damage will be composed from electricity damage, which means the status applied when it does will change by a lot. This is the new circle of status, I guess this is what's going to be called now. Chance to apply the electricity damage now from all 4 of the status effects is about 47%. A bit more, and the other status effects share the rest of the cake, slash 26.5, and both impact and puncture about 13.25%. Altogether though, base status chance is still what matters, and since it is only 6%, in reality we'll only give the electricity damage a little short of 3% chance to be applied. You may increase the status chance and the status duration by a wide assortment of mods on every weapon, so be sure to look at them. A huge role in status chance is also the fire rate of the weapon. Faster it shoots, more status effects you can apply, and faster you can apply them. You can also go beyond 100% status chance with anything above, meaning you will apply one more status effect in one shot. For example, if I have 100% status chance, I will apply one status effect in one shot. If I have, for example, 150% status chance, I will apply one status effect plus 50% I will apply another one. Every status effect has a certain duration it is applied for, normally 6 seconds, which will go away after the time passes, keeping it hard to apply to 10 if not using fast fire rate weapons. Status effects also stack up to normally 10 times, but sometimes more, having increasing effects on the specific bonus the status type gives. There is altogether 13 status effects you can mod for, divided into 3 groups: physical, basic elemental, and combined elemental. Every single status effect works in a bit of a different way, and we will go over every single one of them shortly. The only thing I really want to add is that every enemy, well, almost every enemy, has a weakness which you can exploit, and that is some status effect. For example, most cloned flesh is vulnerable to viral damage. Shooting the ones that have cloned flesh, you will kill them much easier since the damage is multiplied by a lot. But yeah, we will not go over that in this video, so be sure to stay tuned for another one about the enemy's vulnerabilities. Now let's start with the different status effects. First we will go over the physical damage. It consists of impact, slash, and puncture status effects. Impact damage staggers the enemies when applied, and if the enemy is a heavy enemy, it will lower the mercy kill threshold by 4%, stacking up 10 times, adding to the initial 40% mercy chance to 80%. Killing heavy enemies with impact damage is insanely overpowered. I myself don't really use impact that much because I just don't like the effect and doing mercy kills, but sometimes, if I play so, I do. The next status type on the list is puncture damage, which reduces the damage output of affected enemies by 30% for 6 seconds. It stacks up 10 times to the total of 75% damage reduction. This status effect is not the best since normally you will be against multiple enemies at the same time, and applying Puncture is a hassle since it goes away very quickly, and besides that, it is not very useful if you want to kill things. The next status on the list, Slash Damage, makes the enemies bleed. It deals 35% of the total damage per second over the time of 6 seconds. It does stack indefinitely, dealing damage with the formula on the screen right now. It is very important to note that this also bypasses armor, so it is very helpful against Grineer and Infested. It does also dismember the enemies you kill with slash damage, so there is more gore and corpses to loot with Necros. That is it about physical damage. Now let's go to the basic elemental effects: Heat, Cold, Electricity, and Toxin. Heat status type will ignite enemies and deal 50% of total damage over 6 seconds. The damage formula is similar to the one of slash damage, also stacking indefinitely. It also makes the enemies panic for 4 seconds and strips up to 50% of their armor. It is amazing against Grineer and Infested. Cold status effect reduces the movement speed, fire rate, and attack speed of the enemies by 25% for 6 seconds, stacking up to 10 and total of 70% speed reduction. It is not a good status effect to have on your weapons, just saying. Electricity damage deals 50% of its total damage as electricity damage over 6 seconds and stuns enemies around the affected one for 3 seconds in a 3-meter radius. The formula of damage per tick is similar to the one of heat damage, with more electricity damage over time if more mods are applied to the weapon. And now the Toxin damage deals 50% of its total damage per second over 6 seconds and bypasses shields. The formula is on the screen right now. It is very similar to heat damage and it also stacks up indefinitely. And that is it about the basic elemental damage. Now let's look at the combined ones. Blast status type is a combination of cold and heat. It reduces the accuracy of the enemies by 30% for 6 seconds, stacking up 10 times and going to 75% accuracy reduction. It is terrible to use since it may negatively impact your accuracy and the whole playstyle, especially if trying to play fast-paced game styles, with numerous finishers and misses because of the stupid status effects. Corrosive is a combination of electricity and toxin. It reduces the enemy armor by 26% for 8 seconds, stacking up 10 times to 80% less armor. Getting this on fast fire rate or area of effect weapons or AoE weapons is amazing, especially if going against lower level Grineer or Deimos heavy infested. Gas is a combination of heat and toxin. It creates a gas cloud around the enemy in the radius of 3 meters, dealing 50% of its total damage to the enemy and the enemies around it. It stacks up 10 times to a 6-meter radius and also deals far more damage with the normal formula we use with electricity, heat, and toxin. Magnetic damage is a combination of cold and electricity. It makes the shields of enemies more vulnerable, dealing 100% more damage to them for 6 seconds, stacking up 10 times, going to 325% more damage to shields. It is a terrible status effect to have if not playing against high-level corpus enemies. Radiation is a combination of heat and electricity. It makes the enemies turn on each other, with the affected enemy attacking its nearest companion for 12 seconds, dealing 100% more damage. It also can be stacked up to 10 times, so the enemy deals 550% more damage. Watch out though, they can still attack you, so you might have actually created just a very strong enemy that will kill you in seconds. And the last status effect, Viral, is a combination of Toxin and Cold. This status effect makes the enemy's health more squishy, dealing 100% more damage to it for 6 seconds. It does stack up 10 times and deals altogether 325% more damage. It is just insane using against almost every single enemy in the game. I should have mentioned this before, but I can do it now as well. If you apply a status effect multiple times, for example 3 times viral damage, and one stack lasts for 6 seconds. When 6 seconds pass, it will eliminate the whole stack 6 seconds after it was applied. So if you apply one at 1, one at 2, and one at 3 seconds, they will last for 7, 8, and 9 seconds. 6 seconds per stack. But yeah, that is it. All kinds of status damage effects. If you have any questions, be sure to write them down in the comments. I read every single one of them and most of the time reply with at least a heart. But that is really it. Thank you for watching, I hope this was helpful. Please like, comment, share, or maybe unsubscribe, and also have a nice day. Bye guys.